Hi, my name's Rob Auton, and this is The Time Show. $5:13:02 on a Thursday. I think that's a good time. This is a show all about time. We recorded it in Margate, and it was at the Tom Thumb Theatre. Maybe there could be some shots now of the exterior of the venue, and then maybe some of the interior. We filmed it twice in one night. Maybe there's some shots of me backstage now, is there?
All right, great.
At the back of the stage here, you can see some shots of some paintings of clocks and sundials and egg timers and things like that. And then there's some clocks hanging down that were bought off eBay. It's going to last for about an hour.
Tick, tock, tick, tock.
Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock.
This is it. For an hour. And we're recording it. I was doing this the other day, and a guy said, "You've got 10 seconds," and I'm going. He left. Some ticks don't need the tocks, but all tocks seem to need the ticks. All right, 1, 2, 3, all together. Right. This show's all about time. How should we start it? Should we have a countdown? Yeah? What from? 10. Yeah, good one. Someone said 30 the other day, and it kicked off. The audience turned on each other, and I could not retrieve the energy. Okay, from 10. Hold on, I'll count you in. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
0.
What time is it? Time show time, as well as time show time. What time is it? Who's got a watch on? What time you got?
This watch I've got, it's 6:43.
6:43. Any advance on 6:43? All right, give it a minute. 6:44. No advance on 6:44. Does anyone set their watch ahead so they're always early for stuff? I said that once, and a guy said, "Yeah, I do, but you just end up factoring it in, so it's pointless anyway." Does anyone set their watch behind so they're always late for stuff? Give me a cheer if you're late for things. Yes. All right, well, you were on time for that cheer, weren't you? Let's try it again. Give me a cheer if you're late for things. Yeah. There you go. I know someone who's late a lot. I say, "Why are you always late?" She says, "I was born late." Well, I was born prematurely, so that's the excuse I give in the bedroom. I can't believe dead people get accused of being late. They're dead. How are you supposed to be on time when you're not alive anymore? The ghosts have to rush around even though they no longer live in the catchment area of time. The more time I have on my hands, the more likely I am to think I've seen a ghost out of the corner of my eye. It never happens when I'm rushing around. say running for a train. Like that. Was that a ghost there? Don't think about it now, Rob. You've got a train to catch. This is not the time to be thinking about whether you've seen a ghost or not.
Yeah, so we'll be cutting away to things like that as well, where we filmed certain scenes of the show that we thought would work best acted out. There'll be more of them.
When I'm in a rush, my imagination is the first casualty. It's surplus. I don't need it anymore. Right. Imagine there's no heaven. No, John, I'm in a rush. Well, it's easy if you try. No, it's not, I'm late. Me too. I'm the late John Lennon. So, it is approximately 18 minutes past. I think we'd all agree that that's about the right time. Why? Because we say it is. But it can be whatever time you want it to be, if you've got the guts. And a lack of need for public transport, or a job, or a social life. With the amount of differing opinions in this country at the moment, I'm quite surprised people continue to agree on what time it is. Now, excuse me, you got the time, please? Oh, yeah, no worries. It's just coming up to 10 to 7. Well, that's your opinion. And you're entitled to it, yeah? Just like I'm entitled to mine. You want to ask me what the time is? Okay. What time is it? Yeah, I've got the same. That's weird. We've actually got quite a lot in common, haven't we? I thought watches would be set according to personal time persuasion nowadays. Algorithms pushing people to preach personal time truths, but it turns out, people, we are working as a team. Whether we like it or not. We're a time team. Digging up cooperation coins from the minute mine, baby. We're the only ones who are bothered about what time it is. The wind doesn't even know what day it is. Probably thinks it's its birthday today. Take its cake outside and watch it blow out the candles, stupid idiot. What time is it? Has got to be the number one most asked question since time began, hasn't it? There is not a question I have asked myself or others more than, what time is it? Can I get away with doing this material in a show listed as comedy? Is a close second for me. All seconds are close seconds. They're a second apart. Here's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Where are they coming from? Yeah, I don't know. Keep them coming, though. I'll do my best to make a life out of these bad boys. Where are they coming from? Oh, here they are. There they are. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going to pretend that the seconds on this watch are likes on social media. Ooh, wow, look, this is a popular post. Look at this one go up. 57, 58, 59. How long did it take for time to catch on? Cave people saying, when should we meet? Just later, like, normal, what are you talking about? No, we can't do that anymore. We can't just turn up when we want and hope for the best like we used to. We're going by that new thing now, remember? In the land before time, punctuality was not something you could put down on your CV as a strength. Also in the land before time, people overcooked things in microwaves. How long do I put this in for, darling? I don't know what long means. If I wanted to travel back in time to the land before time, what year would I put into the time machine? Did the people who set time going really think time would stand the test of time? the test of itself. If the time designers time travel to the present day, do you think they'd be surprised that their invention is still going? Like slapped down in a telephone box and like,
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Oh, wow. Still got them. Excuse me? Excuse me? Are these clocks, yeah?
What?
What time is it?
It's like 2:33.
You got one as well?
You're right.
I came up with this. It's just numbers.
What do you come? What?
I came up with time. I can't believe you're still using it.
Yeah, man.
I'm a time traveller. Unbelievable. Absolute waste of time.
when time ticked for the first time, how did word get around Britain what time it was? Word of mouth? Telegrams? Was it only the rich who had watches to start with? Like the first people who ever had colour televisions? I would not have wanted to be one of the first people to ever wear a watch. People would have been pestering you constantly. Excuse me, madam. I've heard about you. You're the lady round here with the watch, are you? Yeah, it's me. Oh, wow. Well, look, I'm so sorry to bother you, and I know that you must get this a lot, but I've got to ask. What time is it? Time you got a watch? God, that's funny. I've never heard that before. Did you think of that? I did, yeah. I just thought of it today. What, do you think it's going to catch on? Just a bit. People are going to be puffing their cheeks out in disappointment to that answer for centuries to come. All right, come on, just tell me what time it is, please. Look, I just told him over there, go and ask him. But do it quickly because it will have changed a bit. I know, why don't you tell me all the times it isn't? Then I'll be able to figure out what time it is. Well, we'll be here all day. Ah, so it's daytime. Yeah. That's all you needed to say. Today I've got my watch set to the same time as the television stations and the train stations to make my life more structured. Can you feel how tame time is when you've got a watch on? I don't feel lost, unsure or overwhelmed at all. The watch is the wristband to the festival of punctuality. Why aren't clocks on churches called neighbourhood watches? The construct of time is an effective sedative for chaos. It is. A handrail to steady us through the dark and light. And I want to be part of this brilliant team that cares what time it is. What a fantastic group thought. Time is. I set my watch to the same time as my dad and the Queen of England. That's what I call my mum. If my dad was a clock on the side of the Houses of Parliament, he'd be called Big Chris. And I'll just tell you what that line is there that I crossed out. And he'd have a bong on the hour and a big white face. Do you remember 10 minutes ago? Who's got a watch on? What time you got?
It's 6:43.
Different time, wasn't it? People say, oh, God, there's just not enough hours in the day. Why don't we change it? Put some more in if we need them so badly. What are we, scared? Ooh, can't change it now. All those has-beens who decided it was 60 minutes in an hour have been dead for ages. They were so unevolved back then, they still had wires coming from the headphones that hadn't been invented yet. I can't believe gangsters and murderers subscribe to the same time and number package that I do. Makes them seem a bit wet and conscientious, comfortable with committing crime, but not positive enough in spirit to commit to their own autonomy and set their stolen watches to a different time. They'll take the law into their own hands, but the wrist of a criminal is firmly gripped by the hands of time, just like everybody else's. If I set my watch to 11 hours and 23 minutes behind, who's the real rebel now? It's 2:15 in the afternoon by my watch, but it's dark outside. Everyone's in bed and all the shops are shut. I can't believe people in the past made time to make guns. When Mikhail Kalashnikov sat down to invent the AK-47, he could have used that time to invent the long-handled plastic ice cream scoop dog ball throwing device. If that's the correct name for it. Has anyone here got a dog? Have you got a dog? What dog you got?
Spaniel.
I once asked that question. Has anyone got a dog? And the guy said, yeah, I got a dog. I said, what dog you got? And he said, Jess. Well, we don't have a dog at the moment, but if we ever do, fingers crossed, hopefully we'll get a long-handled plastic ice cream scoop dog ball throwing device. And I'll say to the dog, I'll say, all right, walkers. And then he'll go get me a bag of crisps. And then I'll say, all right, good boy, good boy. And I say, all right, as a special treat, let's go for a walk. And then I'll go to buy some ice cream, some like cart door or something like that, you know, something that has a container that I can use as a packed lunchbox in about 2 weeks' time. And then we go to the park, and then I'd say, right, you sit there. And I'd get the long-handled plastic ice cream scoop dog ball throwing device out like that. And the dog would look up at me like that. Like, oh, yeah. This is great. This is exactly what I signed up for. But then I'd take the tennis ball out and he'd go, oh, no, what are you doing? And then I'd say, all right, wait there. And I'd get the ice cream and I'd start scooping a ball with the long-handled plastic ice cream scoop dog ball throwing device like that. And I'd hold it up and it would have started to melt a bit and it was so spherical. And the dog would look up at me like that and go, oh my God, you haven't. You have. You've learned how to multiply my joy levels. And I would fling the ice cream and it would fly like a sweet wet meteor and the dog would set off and it would run quicker than a dog has ever run before. And on the brink of spontaneous combustion, the dog would leap into the air and sink its fangs into the ice cream and pin it to the ground and go, like that, and all the dogs would be crowding around. They go, oh wow, that dog's so lucky. And I say, yeah, this is a lucky dog. And I say, right, come on, we're going. And then next time I go to the park and all the dogs will be there. They go, that's the guy, that's him. He's brilliant. He's trying to live his life like he's the opposite of an AK-47.
Now that morning was a dream come true for me, actually, of just there being a live dog and me putting one of the long-handled plastic ice cream scoop dog ball throwing devices into some ice cream and seeing if it worked or not, and then throwing it, yeah.
Time's all over the present, like wrapping paper. Hours differ around the globe, but the minutes match. It is approximately 4 minutes past the hour in Japan. No amount of sea, language, culture, or reading books the other way round can put a minute between us. Well, a couple of minutes either side, depending on whose watch you look at, but that isn't going to cause any arguments, is it? Life's too short for that. My days are numbered, literally, by a calendar. 1, 2, 3, first, second, third. It's not a competition. First day of the month isn't always the best, especially when I'm getting pinched and punched left, right, and centre. I was once lucky enough to do this show in Oslo, in Norway, and I said that a bit about pinch and a punch, and there was deadly silence. Well, there had been for the vast majority of the shows, but they were particularly quiet at that bit. And I said, what, don't you have pinch and a punch over it? And they said, no. What's that? And I said, well, where I come from, people punch you because of what day it is. And I said, no, what kind of horrific environment are you living in? I'm living in an environment of numbers. Numbers that people designed and drew. Not even that long ago, really. I love thinking about those first people. Whoever, you know, what are we doing today? Number 7. That's sorted, great. Well, if there's like a little work experience person there, and going, excuse me, boss. Yeah? Well, I know I'm only on work experience and it's not really my place to say, but you know this zero you've been designing today? Yeah? Well, I don't know if you noticed, but it does look a lot like the letter O.
I'm sorry to bother you, I know I'm only on work experience here, but I just was in the creative room and I'd seen these designs that you've been working on for the
zeros.
I don't know if you noticed, but the one that you've chosen does look a lot like the letter O.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very, very experienced as a company. We know it looks like an O.
I know that, and that's why I wanted to come here on work experience, but this one here, the squiggle, that would be so fun for people to do, and it would be so obvious, the difference between that and a O.
Yeah, but look how long that's going to take to do. This is bam, 0, and I'm on with my day.
I know, but I don't think it would take that long.
We really thought about it a lot. We're not just chancers.
Do you not think that people would confuse it with the letter O?
Yeah, I think it will. Every now and then someone will go, is that an O, is that a 0?
It's O, so it's O, and then they're both called O. It looks like an O.
Because it's just going to be an occasional thing. You look at it, you go, is that an O or a 0? Oh, it's in the middle of a word. That'll be the letter O. Oh, hang on. That's a phone number. That's probably a 0. It's probably not the letter O in amongst a load of numbers, right?
Okay. No, I'm so, yeah.
I wish my days weren't numbered, but then I wouldn't know when my mum's birthday is. I'd have to guess. Is it your birthday today, Mum? I don't know. Well, shall we celebrate the fact that you're alive today? Yeah, okay, Rob. Can we go to Jamie's Italian? No. We can't. When I first wrote this material, we could. But that is testament as to how long I've been trying to get this show filmed for. What time is it without numbers? I mean, what is time without numbers? Maybe it's like painting without numbers. Freedom! Fill it in however you like. There's no rigid textbooks telling us what we must do with our time on Earth. What we've got to... This is what you must do. Sometimes I wish the guidelines were a bit more rigid. I was once on a beach, just as the sun was going down, and there was a guy there, and he was drunken metal detecting. It's like that. He wasn't taking his time. He was taking his time. He had his time in a headlock. It was like that. You're coming with me, you little tosser. This is what we're doing. He was dominating his minutes. He was not getting pushed and pulled around by numbers like I so often am. Headphones on, dropping to his knees every 2 meters to pick up an empty can of undented, fresh that day Strongbow dark fruit. Wow. Someone must have drank from this can today. Oh yeah, it was me. He was using a metal detector to discover the gold of the moment. It made me want to go metal detecting down Oxford Street in London. Beep, 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 beep. Oh yeah, wow, there's a bus here. They've been awesome. All right, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but come on. Reverse up, you're mine now, finders keepers. That's how it works with the metal detector, you know. All right, everybody off, line up, right, scanning up their legs. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, I got some coins in there. Modern day, I don't care, come on. Give me, no, I don't want your paper money, come on. Oh, there's a lamppost here. I didn't even have to dig it up. Can I just take this home? Fantastic. Going into a jewellery shop like that. Jackpot! Yes! All that is metal is mine! I once saw a guy metal detecting with steel toe-cap boots on. And he couldn't figure it out. He was furious, but his profanities were getting bleeped out by the detector every time his foot went near it. That was just a little idea I had for a joke, that. I never thought anyone would actually do that until I was on the internet and I saw an article. And the headline was, "Man digs 12 feet deep hole without realising his metal detector was picking up his steel toe cap safety boots." And then there was a picture of a guy down the hole like that.
After the show, we stayed in the Libertines Hotel in Margate, and on the morning after, went down to the beach and shot that metal detector bit. And people were actually asking, have you found anything? I didn't want to hold up kind of the golden clock that I found and said, yeah, I found this actually, because that would have been disingenuous, but I wanted to.
If it was just me living here on Earth, I don't know if I'd bother with time. I wouldn't need to know. Time is for when there is more than one person, isn't it? Like now. We all need to know when this show's going to finish. Time is the epitome of give and take. Gives you a second, gone. Gave me eyes, I can't see as well as I used to. Gave me ears, I can't hear as well as I used to. I was once doing a show and about half an hour in, I heard a high-pitched noise. And I said, is that a hearing aid? And the lady said, yeah, I'm just turning it off. Not for you then, no? She went, nah, this ain't for me. I was like, all right, fair enough. And if you are sitting there thinking, not sure about this, well, I've had some reviews for my shows. I got one review and it said, Rob Auton adopts the persona of an underprepared best man. And I got another one and it said, like watching a child caught in the stage lights of his first nativity. I'll take that as a compliment because I do want to try and keep this fresh and new for myself. It might not look like it, but being on stage, this is one of the few places where anxiety and paranoia loses its grip on me. And I've got old people looking at me. It's as if my brain's saying, yeah, you've got something real to worry about now, Rob. I want to live every day like it's my first. Like that. Wow. And I don't want the novelty of having hands to ever wear off for me. And us all having the same amount of throats. Sometimes I feel like I'm a magpie who's lost his interest in shiny things. I don't want to do anything. But I'm alive at the same time as mangoes. Yes! Get in. How do they know what to do to our mouths? What kind of focus groups were mangoes having? All right, we could do this, or this. No, we're going to do this, and we're going to blow them away, baby. I just want to try to catch the glimpse of the rightness. Surely, we should all consider ourselves to be as special now as we were when we were all newly born babies. And our parents were looking at us for the first time. Like that. Oh, wow. Look at his perfect little hands. I've still got them. They just grew a bit. That shouldn't reduce their remarkable rating. I think they're equally as worthy of praise now as they were when they had blood on them. For the first time. I wish I'd been able to speak when I was first born. I would have loved that. I would have opened my eyes, yawned, stretched and said, what time is it? And my mum would have probably said, I haven't got my watch on, Robert. She'd have called me Robert because she hadn't started calling me Rob because she didn't know me well enough yet. I've just given birth to you, you little dipstick. My body clock's completely broken because I've had to compete with you growing yourself inside me from scratch for the last 9 months, and your body clock may as well be an alarm clock, Rob. Sorry, can I call you Rob now? Yeah. Of course you can, Mum. All right, well, what are we doing? Come on. You've been expecting me, haven't you? Come on, I'm not getting any younger. I can't. I wasn't born yesterday. I was born today. Let's go. I want to... there's a lot. It looks like there's a lot for me to see. Come on. What, you just had me and hope for the best? Oh, that's what everyone does, is it? All right, fair enough. But, Mum, the future's vital. It is the backbone of my tomorrow. I want to have a guaranteed number of lifetime hours each week. You will, Rob. Me and your dad will see to that. Just take it one day at a time. I wish I could have kept a diary on the first day of my life. Diary entry, 24th of the 9th, 82. Has anyone got the same birthday as me? No? Sometimes I say, has anyone got the same birthday as me? And someone says, yeah, I have. And I say, oh, fantastic. You know that instant affinity you have with people when you find out you've got the same birthday? Like, yeah, we're on the same page of the calendar. We're in the same square. And I say, hey, look, I've got something for you. It's a birthday card. Person born on the same day as me. And then I hand it to the audience and they pass it back and the person gets it. And I say, don't open it until the day. And they take it in their hands. Everybody claps and the whole mood of the gig lifts. Yeah, not tonight. Diary entry, 24th of the 9th, 82. Dear diary, it's 8:50 p.m. on Friday night and I've just been born. With the whole weekend in front of me. As well as my entire life. Oh, it feels great being born on a Friday night. I guess I need to start getting ready. I'd like my funeral to be on a Friday night. Service at 7 p.m, wake until late. At least then it'll be Saturday the next day for everyone else. People won't have to worry about work in the morning. They can concentrate on mourning in the morning. I don't need to think about that yet. Yesterday I didn't officially exist. Now look at me. I've actually been crying quite a lot so far. It's not that I don't want to be here. It's just that at the moment it seems to be the only thing I know how to do with any real conviction. My first day on earth and it's my birthday. What a coincidence. What are the chances of that? I'm lucky. Friday seems like a fun night to be born on. I'm not going to go out tonight because I don't know how yet. Can't see any party preparations. Maybe it's going to be a surprise. Just like I was. It'd just be family anyway, because when you're first born, you only have family. Because you haven't had time to make any friends yet. Instant family. Just add life. I wonder what my parents will want me to do with my time on earth. Make the most of it, presumably. That's what all parents want for their children, isn't it? I heard a lady say, it's a boy. So I guess that's what I am. I'm not sure what the plan for tomorrow is yet. I'll just take it one day at a time. Can't really remember yesterday. 2 weeks ago, that's a bit more fuzzy. 6 months ago, 10 months. My heart is beating, which is absolutely fantastic. Don't know when that fired up. What a fantastic, encouraging organ. Oh, yeah, thanks so much for your support so far. We'll never meet in the flesh, I hope, but thanks for everything. How did that know to start going? When I was just cells, like that. Bleh. And when did they start? All our hearts like that, not beating, not beating, not beating, beating a bit, beating. Tiny beat of a non-existent heart. Or is it sperm hits egg, boom, beating heart? Maybe it's like a heart monitor when somebody dies, but in reverse. So the line had been neon green and spikeless for eternity. And then I came along and it went beep, 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 beep. I haven't seen myself in the mirror yet. Wonder what I'll look like when I'm a full day old. Hope I don't look too old. A day is a very long time when you're only 4 minutes old. Nowadays, I've been alive for quite a long time. So long that I'd have thought I'd have seen a bird flying on its back by now. Or at least having a go. They're all on the fronts. Come on, get on your backs. I want to see a golden eagle doing backstroke. Pretty close. Time, it just goes so quick. I've got a little nephew, and I remember him when he was at the Christmas tree. That wasn't worth it. Huh? That was the worst Christmas lights turning on ever. Can you imagine if I was ever in like 50 years' time asked to go and turn some Christmas lights on in the village where I grew up just outside York, and I turn them on and people go, "What is it?" And then I show them the Christmas lights and they're like, "Oh." It was Christmas time. And I remember my little nephew, and he was at the Christmas tree and he was tapping the baubles on the tree, making them swing. And I went up behind him and I said, "Hello, you all right?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "What colour's that bauble there?" And he looked up at me. He said, "Orange." And I said, "Yeah. Well done, that's right." And I thought, wow. He's learned what orange is since last time I saw him. Then I thought, what have I done? I said, "What about that one there then?" "Blue," said my dad. I remember this. I was testing my nephew on colours and my dad got involved. He was like, "That, blue." And I said, "Yeah, that's right, Dad." And my dad smiled. He was like that. He knows what colours are too, but he likes to keep his hand in. I pointed at one and I said, "Red." Grandson, granddad and uncle, united by colour and Christmas time for a few special moments. I hope I'll remember forever. Remember could have been a good name for a month, couldn't it? The month of Remember. But how would people remember that there's a new month? Possibly with the rhyme. Remember, the month of Remember. A 4-week period for people to breathe, to look, to stop, to remember things like nothing ripens a banana quicker than a rucksack. I learned what colours were when I was little. I remember my granddad sitting me on his knee and he taught me all about the 24-hour clock. And I learned what time was when I was small. But what have I been learning since becoming an adult, really? Well, I've learned to check that the water is running in a train toilet before putting soap on my hands, that's for sure. Oh, not again. Been learning that I get a great amount of enjoyment from seeing a golf course from a train. I love that. It's always the same thought process, something like that. Oh, that's neat green grass to say it's in the middle of nowhere. Oh, it's a golf course! Brilliant. I've learned that few things please me more than when two pets have corresponding names, like the woman on the bus who told me her cats were called Rough and Tumble and her two goldfish were called I Killed My Brother and Don't Tell Anyone. It's also come to my attention that if you accidentally drop a satsuma into a big pot of hummus, it will be the quietest thing you've heard in absolutely ages. I could not believe how quiet that was. It was ridiculous. It was like that. Did that just happen? There was no impact sound. It's like something had gone right in the universe. Well, it went right in the kitchen, but our kitchens are in the universe, aren't they? Time does stuff to you. Gets you told off. I was once on the bus and there was a mother and son, and the mother said, "You spend so much time on that iPad. If you don't get off at this minute, I am throwing it in the bin when we get home." And the little boy said, "Which bin? Which bin would you throw it in?" I don't think that you could just throw this in the normal bin. That would be a bit out of character for you. And we can't just put it in the recycling. I actually think this is going to be quite difficult to throw away. We're going to have to go somewhere special for this, like we do for the batteries. And the mum said, "I hate you. You're grounded." And the little boy said, "Yeah, I like to think I'm quite grounded, actually, Mum." When I was little, we didn't have iPads. I remember being on the back lawn with my mum and dad, and we were playing the game, "What's the time, Mr. Wolf?" Well, if we ever have children, I'm going to make sure that we also play the game, "What's the time, Mrs. Wolf?" For a bit of gender equality. I feel sorry for Mrs. Wolf. I do feel sorry for Mrs. Wolf. You know, if I were to ever run into her, I would say, I'd tell her, I'd say, "Look, it must be hard being Mrs. Wolf and your husband being the one with the watch, you know." I'd just love to say to her, "Would it, if we had kids, I would play..." Hold on. I can't believe it. Look, there she... That's Mrs. Wolf. I'm gonna go and tell her. I can't believe it. I'm gonna go. Finally got my opportunity to go and tell her. Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you, but you're Mrs. Wolf, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're Mrs. Wolf.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Look, I just want you to know that if I were to ever have children, we would play the game, "What's the time, Mrs. Wolf?" For a bit of gender balance.
Yeah, you're going to ask me what the time is, aren't you, you little bellend? Do you think I'm not sick of it? Do you think you're funny? Is that what it is? Oh, you think you're funny? I'm going to go up to Mrs. Wolf and ask her the time.
No,
very good, very good. Do you think you're original? Eh? No. Answer me, you little gimp. Do you think you're original?
I don't think I'm original.
Right. Do you know, people, they don't think a woman wolf has the mental capacity to tell the time. That's what... No, listen to this. Listen to me now. You've come here, you've interrupted my day. People think, "Oh, a woman wolf doesn't have the mental capacity to tell the time. Oh, well, why don't you ask my husband then? Famously, he's got a watch. Do I know where he got it from? No, and it wasn't from me. And any time I do ask him what time it is, wanting to know, do you know what he says?
No.
Do you know what he says to me, his wife? He says, "Dinner time!" Chauvinist little prick. It's not on, is it?
No, it's not. That's bad.
Now go on, get off. Leave! I ain't got time for this. It's an idiot. You get a watch. Get a watch, Mrs. Wolf. Don't need a watch. Got naught to do.
What's down there?
Get off!
Sorry.
Who are you?
Cameraman.
As a boy, when I was going to play out on a night, I'd always say to my mum and dad, "Just going out now." And they'd say, "Yeah, OK, Rob, don't be back too late." Well, now, if I've got the money, I'll stay in a travel lodge or a Premier Inn. And I go down before the gig starts and past reception, and I say, "Just going out now." And they say, "What? Who's that? Do you know that guy?" "What's he always..." "No, I'm just going out now, yeah." "I'll be back in about 4 hours." Maybe I just want one of them to say, "Don't be back too late." So then I can say, "I'm an adult now, I can do what I want." I'm often advised to live in the moment. Live in the moment! Live in the moment. OK, I'll do it now. Look at the varying levels of enjoyment on people's faces and take it on the chin. All right, done it. Now what? Do it again. I just lived a moment ago. There's another one. OK. Live in this moment now. I just lived a moment ago. There's too many. I'm getting pummeled by moments. And another one. I don't think every moment is deserving of me trying to live in it. Oh, I've just put a USB stick in the one-way wound. We've run out of toothpaste and there's no more in the cupboard. I've just stubbed my toe at this moment. Oh, living in the moment of stubbing my toe. I'll tell you a moment I do like, when I haven't had flapjack for ages, and then I have some. And I remember how much I love flapjack. I've just remembered how much I like flapjack. That's weird. Why isn't this a bigger part of my everyday life? Should we all take a minute now to live in the moment together? Yeah? Okay, 1, 2, 3, shut your eyes. All right, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right, open your eyes. Does anyone want some flapjack? Yeah. What's your name? Kit. If you want some of this flapjack, Kit, you have to answer me one simple question. Is this flapjack suitable for vegetarians?
Vegetarians, yes.
Yes. Yes, Kit, it is. Are you a vegetarian?
No.
Well, this is only suitable for vegetarians, so you can't have any, Kit. No meat eaters allowed. No, of course you can. Look, I've got to do this. I've got to do a allergies warning, okay? I said to the venue, I'd like to give out some flapjack, and they say, okay, look, well, we need to ask people if they're allergic to flapjack when they're coming in. I said, don't do that, because then everyone will just be wondering when the flapjack's coming. All right, Kit, are you allergic to any of this, all right? Flapjack. No? All right. There you go.
That is, I put on the weight before I eat it. Sorry, I've just destroyed the chair. I'm going to move to on the floor. Should I,
Yeah?
should I sit with my... Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you go. Pass it on. All right, pass it on. All right, you've got to live in this moment now of that chair breaking and wondering, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get any flapjack or not. Is it going to reach me? Time does stuff to you. Lets you know if you're in a long-term relationship, depending on how long you've been going out for. I knew an ex-girlfriend of mine was not up for a long-term relationship when I said, who do you think will get married first? And she said, what, out of me and you? I love calendars, time and calendars. If you've got a smartphone, you can go into the calendars app and open the app and go into the months and scroll and scroll. Hundreds and hundreds of years into the future. And you can see where the days are going to fall. I was looking at the year 2136 and I saw that my birthday is going to be on a Monday. And I thought, it's all right. Probably have to do something on the Saturday. But then I thought, I'm probably not going to have to do anything. Probably just try and make the most of this weekend. And this week. And tomorrow.
We put a lot of candles on a cake, over 100, I think, and it was really warm. Panic ensued, and wax was dripping everywhere, all over the floor. I suddenly realised, oh yeah, if I drop this onto my clothes, it's going to hurt, you know. But because we were filming it, it was like, oh, nothing's real, blah, blah, blah. But it became very real very quickly. And maybe I could show you the cake, the state it was in after.
To my delight, I found a roll of big bubble wrap under my bed that I couldn't remember buying. It had more weight to it than the bubble wrap I was used to. I carefully carried the roll through into my living room, as heavy as carpet, unrolled it on the living room floor. Upon closer inspection, I realised contained in each bubble was a single moment from each day of my life. A back catalogue bubble calendar of my approximate 14,236 days spent on this magnificent earth. Starting at the top left-hand corner, I took a magnifying glass to see the scene of my birth. My parents, younger than I am now, looking at me for the first time ever. Putting my ear to it, I could just about make out my own primal scream. Never, ever had I wanted to pop anything less. Bubble by bubble, my limbs grew longer. Gently stroking a landmark bubble of development, I watched myself taking my first steps. Homemade paddling pools my dad put effort into. Blue tarpaulin, leftover bricks and water from the green hosepipe. Just big enough for 2 children and 2 ice creams on sunny days in Yorkshire. That place I have grown to love so much. Following the days along the roads led me to think of evenly spaced out frog spawn. Evidence of life in each one. I love frog spawn. Always have. Always will. Frog spawn is one of my favourite time scales. Reminds me that all living things were dots once too. Look at what some of them grow into. Cherry trees, zebras, each as complex as the next. The half spheres of my life went on. Candles of mum-made birthday cakes just far enough away from the dome roofs to stop them from smouldering. Seeing my days line up like this enabled me to seek out particular events. The spontaneous mud fight involving 99% of the children in the village where I grew up. My dad's face when he saw me and my brilliant sister walk through the door of that bungalow caked in mud made me realise that sometimes it is worth getting told off. Finding myself with a spare ticket to a sold-out Bob Dylan show at Hammersmith Apollo. Seeing a busker playing Blowing in the Wind outside the venue. Me thinking, I could give that busker this spare ticket for free. That'd be a kind gesture. And I approached him and I said, excuse me, mate, sorry to bother you, but I've got a spare ticket. You can have it for free if you want it. It's standing. And he said, what time does it start? I'm not that much of a fan, to be honest. Bubble upon bubble of me standing in the art shop trying to look busy. Until I found the bubble I was looking for. One of my heroes, John Hurt, approaching me and almost whispering, have you got a yellow and black striped 2B pencil with a rubber on the end? Me discreetly saying, oh, sorry, no, we don't stock them, but they might have some in our rivals round the corner. And he smiled at me. Not like an actor, like a human being. And he said, I don't like it in there. I prefer it in here. And it made me feel better about going to work in that art shop for a long time. A bubble full of northbound train next to a darkly clothed funeral bubble. A wreath with a note attached to it that my granny left for my grandpa. A note that simply read, thank you for the good times. Sometimes, when the sun comes out, I think about the people that I love. Bubbles overcast with thought bubbles. Thought bubbles of, if there really is a heaven, like some people believe, and I really hope there is, and a resident of heaven gets news of a loved one's imminent arrival, do they go and wait at the arrival's gate, holding a sign with their loved one's name on it? I'd like to think so. I'm going to show you around. And a thought bubble next to that saying, I bet some people will be quite annoyed actually. Oh God, not you again. Rowing a boat into an on fountain in Madrid. The boat filling up with her laughter. Me starting to feel better about my existence again. I watched my life develop in these mixed weather snow globe scenes, and I began to think about other people's bubble wrap strips. All living creatures equipped with their own individual pieces. Bubbles filled with dancing, cooking, marbles, duvets, jumping, washing, zipping, crying, laughing, living, dying. We walk, coated in the bubble wrap sheets of our past, protecting us as we speed slowly into our unpredictable yet magnificent futures. The last 4 bubbles showed me here. Now, doing this, the bubbles after it are empty. I was in a restaurant with Victoria, and I said to her, look, I just want to try and make one memory a day, big or small, and I want to try to write it down on a night, and that's it, really. To fill a bubble. My past pushes me to want to be a more empathetic, less fearful version of myself. What can we do to fill those bubbles? It's a bursting point. Outside is having an open day tomorrow. Let's do something memorable.